Let's welcome Kathy Holly and Spotlight.
Everybody, welcome to Spotlight again, and I'm so thrilled to be here. Kathy Holly is doing this from home. I know everything has changed with the pandemic, and I've been doing a couple of Spotlight shows from home, and it's wonderful. I love it. Zooming along, as we say. And tonight I have two great guests who I happened to meet during the pandemic because they were singing in front of the Java Cafe Beach Cafe in San Francisco. And as we all know, even if you perform normally in clubs, restaurants, or wherever it may be as musicians and singers during the pandemic, we've been very limited. We can't do anything basically. But I happened to see them when they were doing a delightful set in front of the Java Beach Cafe in San Francisco. And they're going to tell you more about their careers and what they do. And the two guests tonight are Ants Fujinaga, and his nickname is Mr. Sushi. His name is Tokuwu, sorry. So wonderful guests, international for sure, very international. And the first one I'd like to address and interview and hear more about her music is Ants, who's also known as Antonia Fraser Fujinaga. Right, Ants? Hi, Ants. Welcome to the show. It's great to see you. Great to see you.
Likewise.
Just will you tell everybody a little bit about yourself? I looked at your website and I couldn't believe what you have done and what you, of course, you're still doing most of it, but in maybe not as frequent during the COVID. But please tell us, where first of all were you born and raised?
In Florence, in Italy.
Florence. Yeah. Most people would say, I'm so sorry you had that misfortune.
Oh, yeah.
What was it like growing up in Italy? Did you have Italian parents?
Well, I had a Scots father, which is why I have the English, and an Italian mother. So I grew up bilingually. I spoke both languages from when I was a baby. And I grew up speaking English to my father and Italian to my mother and the rest of the nation. And then I luckily went to an international school which had classes in both languages. The International School of Florence, much recommended. And so I didn't lose my English.
It's fantastic.
English.
And you never got confused between the Italian and the English with both parents?
No, except once I got confused when someone accused me of having a boyfriend when I was 5. And I said, I don't have a boyfriend. I'm never going to marry myself, which Italian, non mi sposerò mai. I will never marry myself. It's reflected.
Oh.
Marry yourself. And I said, no, not marry myself, marry myself. And then I realized, no, that's not how they do it in English. But apart from that, it was smooth sailing.
Well, that's good. And you obviously worked it out, because if you tell everyone, I know that you are now married and you have 2 darling children. I saw them the other night. Oh, they're adorable. How old are they?
The older one, the girl, is going to be 3 on the 8th of this month. And the younger one, the boy, is going to be 17 months on the 6th of this month. So
my goodness. So,
and I didn't marry myself. I married somebody else, a Japanese virologist.
Well, very interesting with all of your international connections. This is fascinating. So will you please tell me then, after you were raised in Florence and you did your schooling there, when did you get into music? And when did you come to the United States?
Right. Well, I got into music as early as I can remember. I used to invent tunes, and I used to sing them on the bus on the way to this pre-kindergarten thing that I went to when I was 3. And I would sing my tunes, and the other kids made fun of me and hurt my feelings. But I didn't have any musical training. I've just kind of invented music all my life. I invented it on other people's pianos when I was like 5 or so. And anyway, so I sang with some people when I was in like 14 or so, but that was more like sort of rock and stuff like that. And then when I went to university, which all happened in Edinburgh, in Scotland,
In
I
Scotland.
in some Balkan bands. So we had 2 Greek bands, 1 Bulgarian band, and 1 medieval band. And I also studied 2 types of classical Indian dance, Bharatanatyam and Kathak.
Well, now I have to interrupt you just a minute here, because the program is unfortunately not that long. We could spend all night
Sure.
talking about all of your wonderful experience, because you've had so much. Because I know you also sing in several languages, and no one in your family was musical. You just decided you had a good ear.
Yeah, I mean, my mother sang rather well, and I think I got it from her. My father also loved singing, and he'd studied in Russia and had very good Russian, and he would sing lots of Russian songs. So I know a bunch of those by heart. And I came to America when I got married. I got married in 2006, came to America after my green card happened, had a Balkan band in Michigan, and then came here. And now I'm also in an ensemble which plays Japanese folk songs.
How wonderful. Well, that's great, because I know we're going to hear from you about a Japanese folk song, but you also write music. And I would love you to play something for us now with your ukulele, since you play the ukulele. And I understand you're going to do an original song that you wrote called Humans, Won't You Love Me? And this is on the ukulele. So we're featuring Antonia Fraser Fujinaga, otherwise known as Ants.
Thank you.
Take it away, Ants. And tell us about the song.
Oh, it's just a song about being bad at everything except spelling. I'm British. We have self-deprecating humor. It's what we do. I've had to cut off a verse, so maybe one day you'll hear all of them. But here you go. So.
Yes.
My phenotype is decidedly substandard. I'm visually suboptimal, acoustically subpar. My submental stratum of subcutaneous lard substantially subtracts from my seductive repertoire. My presence does not excite the men unduly. Rooms resolutely don't light up when I appear. What could possess a fellow to fertilize yours truly? I am a catalyst for chastity, I fear. But I was always rather good at spelling. The mysteries of grammar never brought me to my knees. Upon solicitation, I'll correct your punctuation. So humans, won't you love me, please? My job applications are always unsuccessful. Despite my efforts, I am frumpy and unkempt. Eye contact and buzzwords I find immensely stressful. Human resources clearly hold me in contempt. Just once I landed the coveted position they chose based on exam results, and I got in that way. Then I discovered with horror and contrition that I don't relish sitting in a box all day. But I was always rather good at spelling. The mysteries of grammar never brought me to my knees. Upon solicitation, I'll correct your punctuation. So humans, won't you love me, please? I am deficient in matters instrumental. My fingers hit the wrong notes with alarming frequency. My tunes are tedious, my lyrics detrimental to the pursuit of noble equanimity. I won't achieve anything that's worth preserving, and though my songs provoke amusement here and there, I'll be forgotten like many more deserving. Look on my works, ye mediocre and despair. But I was always rather good at spelling. The mysteries of grammar never brought me to my knees. Upon solicitation, I'll correct your punctuation. So humans, won't you love me, Why can't you love me? Humans, won't you love me, please? Oh dear, oh dear.
Bravo, bravo. That is great. You know, where did you get that whistle? Your whistle is beautiful.
But when I was a child, I kept on trying and it didn't work. I would get lightheaded, you know, and then one day it worked and I never looked
Really?
back.
Well, you
Everyone
know,
had
it's
music.
amazing. Yeah, it's amazing, Nance, because it does sound, it really works well with that song in particular. Okay, now after you've had, we have to move along here. So let's get the shamisen. And I would like to know how you ever, oh, first of all, tell us about it, because the studio audience, or the audience rather out there in television land, wants to know. 3 strings, Japanese instruments, and of course, when did
Yes.
you pick up the shamisen?
About, oh, it must have been about 4 years ago now. This is a Japanese instrument. It's based on the Chinese sanxian, which means 3 strings, and shamisen kind of means 3 strings as well. Huge tuning pegs. This is the yubikake, which you wear on your finger so you can slide up and down, and it's played with a massive plectrum called a
Yes,
yeah.
gosh, everybody has, you know, we call that a pick, but everybody else will understand. It's called a plectrum. That's really the formal name of it. So, all right, now, first of all, how long did it take you to learn all this?
Learn. Well, there was a teacher in San Francisco who unfortunately has now passed away. She was, you know, somewhat aged, but she taught me. You know, she was leading a group which I'm still in. It's just that now we can't perform anymore because all the festivals have been cancelled.
That's right.
But yeah, so not very long actually. She showed me how to hold it and how to do it, and then she basically said, okay, play in the next show. And she gave me a bunch of songs to learn, and I learned them. I also invent my own songs on this, but
Well, oh, I was going to ask you, you don't read music, you said. So when
yeah,
she gave you songs to learn, did she just play them for you
yeah,
and over you would figure it out?
yeah. She would play them, and sometimes she'd record them. I have a little machine that records, and then I would learn them. And as long as I
Right.
can hear it, then I can.
Well, let's go ahead and hear the song you're going to do very quickly. It's a fishing song, and pronounce it for me in Japanese, please.
Hai Ryobushi.
Okay.
Ryobushi. So it's the song of the abundant fishing harvest. I'm only going to do a very tiny snippet of it.
We're ready.
Matsushima sayo suiganji hodo era monai toe are wa to soria
Very good. Very, so totally different tonally. People would have to get used to that, but that is just wonderful. We're going to quickly bring in our other wonderful guest who also works with you. Toku Wu, his nickname is Mr. Sushi. Hi, Mr. Sushi.
Hi,
How are you?
very good. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's wonderful, wonderful. It's good to see you today. And I just want everybody to know about you. So again, I'm going to ask you, how did you, oh, first of all, where were you raised?
I was born and raised in Japan and live here for 20 some years in California.
What city in Japan?
It's called Kobe, the most fantastic city.
Yes, I was in Kobe, but very briefly, and I wish I had time to really see the city. But it's wonderful. You're here now in San Francisco. And so when did you pick up the guitar, Sushi?
Maybe when I was about 10 years old, but I started out from ukulele when I was 7.
Yes.
When my hand became a little bit bigger,
Uh-huh.
I switched to guitar.
And you're very good on the guitar. I mean, it's really terrific. I think, yeah, the ukulele is a good beginning. And I know I heard you, when you were at the beach cafe, and I loved it because you were playing some instrumentals. You
Yeah.
don't sing. You basically are playing, and then you're accompanying, of course. Now, in San Francisco, have you worked mostly as a solo performer, or have you worked with other people?
I did both, but more with other people. Actually, I I usually do like a duo with another saxophone player or violin player or singer.
Great,
Once,
great, wonderful. Now, so you're going to do a solo for us tonight. The first one you're going to do is what song?
Europa by Carlos Santana.
Great. Take it away, Sushi. Beautiful, nice jazz chords in there. Oh, beautiful song. That's great. And since you're from Japan, you can't not do a Japanese song for us. What one are you going to play?
I will play Sakura song for you. Sakura.
And tell us about the title. It means, what's the song about?
Sakura is a cherry blossom. It's a beautiful flowers. Represents a spring in Japan, and people watch them and communicate with them.
It's beautiful.
High spirit.
And so, especially during Cherry Blossom Festival here in Japantown, have you played?
Not at the festival yet, but hopefully in a couple of years.
Definitely. Definitely. All right, go ahead, Sushi. Sakura. Beautiful, beautiful. I can see the cherry blossoms falling. It's beautiful. Well, now it's time to bring you together with ants because together you are a duo and you call yourselves Sushi and Spaghetti. I love it. It's such a catch-all name, Sushi and Spaghetti. So Spaghetti, go ahead. Ants is Spaghetti and Mr. Sushi is your nickname, of course.
These are the spaghetti.
There you go. Yes, they are long. Your hair is beautiful for Spaghetti. Now, the two of you are going to do just two renditions because we're going to run out of time if I talk too long. But just very briefly, I want to let everybody know that you do perform at many different places when it's not the pandemic. And now you are at the cafe, Java Beach Cafe on what day?
On Saturdays from about 1:30 to 3:30. It's the last stop of the Enjuda near the beach.
And it's perfect. You can sit outside, people can enjoy themselves, have a great time. And then also, let's talk just briefly about busking, since the pandemic has prevented a lot of music. I know when tips are very important. So sometimes you even may end up singing someplace and we may see you and say, oh, let's put money in that tip jar because you have to make a living during the pandemic. And that's one way to do it. But I wouldn't recommend it for everybody, right?
No. So
No.
we generally busk on Tuesdays and Thursdays. These days, basically on the corner of 20th Avenue of Irving Street and 20th Avenue in the Sunset, or around that area because it's where I live and I have babies and so I can't really go. So if you see,
well, let's give everybody a sample of what you do when you work together. And the first song is Manada Carnaval. Take it away, Sushi and Spaghetti.
falar dos beijos perdidos nos lábios teus. Canta meu coração, alegria voltou, tão feliz amanhã deste amor.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. That's wonderful. I just would, before you do your next song, because we'll probably go out with that, I want to just mention that, Ants, I need your face, that you have a website. I know we're going to probably be flashing that on the screen, not right now, but we definitely will, because people can get a hold of you that way. That's your website. And on your website, of course, it also explains that you do several things. You create custom clothing. You even do translations. And I was reading where you have been very active as a translator for human rights organizations, Iranian human rights organizations. And you have a PhD about contemporary Iranian criminal courts. Oh my goodness, from the University of Edinburgh. And I'm just thinking to myself, all of this, plus she can do windows and take care of her children. So this is just great. And Sushi and you singing together are terrific. It's really great to think this pandemic will end. And when it ends, of course, I expect to see you two performing many places, including the Bistro, where I also performed, because I think they're going to be opening again. So when eventually, not right now. So would you please sing another song, because you do so many different styles of music, but it's great when people hear you, you also play familiar, music, and people can enjoy it and just sit back and relax. And so the next song you're going to do is Blue Moon, right?
Yes.
All right. We all know Blue Moon. So,
Beautiful.
And we'll see you at the Java Beach Cafe before everything's over. And I want to thank you for being on the show tonight. It has been really great having both of you. International flavors for sure. So everybody, this is Ants and Sushi. Take it home.
Thank you. Blue moon, you saw me standing alone, without a dream in my heart, without a love of my own. Blue moon, you knew just what I was there for. You heard me saying a prayer for one I